I've got something to say. Well, apparently, there is a lady by the name of Roma Army, a very large channel on here on YouTube, and she seems to be under the impression that Johnny, everybody knows Johnny Goble, his last name is Goble, Roma, Goble. People call him Johnny Gobble, myself included, sometimes just out of habit. They call him that because he was being trolled, and he was trolling, actually he started out trolling a country singer who's pretty famous independent country artist by the name of Ryan Upchurch. And Ryan Upchurch made some response videos referring to him as Johnny Gobble, calling him Turkey Man, stuff like that. I don't know. But it just kind of stuck. But his last name is actually Goble. And these allegations that you're talking about, she made a little video, a short tonight, talking about Johnny Goble being, Johnny, we'll just say Johnny, being accused of abusing kids, like, pedo stuff. And Roma's under the impression, the Roma Army lady, is under the impression that his ex-wife Brittany was the only one that accused any of this. Actually, no, let's back this up. This was all 6 months ago. This was all put to rest. All of it. For the most part. Nobody really bringing this stuff up. Johnny had disappeared from the internet. The main lady that had brought a lot of this stuff up, Cammie, the allegations, it disappeared for a while. All of a sudden, Roma starts coming around the little troll community, looking into like the Square stuff, because Square was tagging her and everything, going, help me, there's these males on here and they're harassing and bullying me. Which, yeah, the Square stuff, of course, everybody knows that by now. Yeah, there's a few people that fuck with him. For the most part, it's people calling him out on bullshit that he's done that's pissed people off. But they saw her coming around. She's got over 1 million subscribers. She is very successful on YouTube. She is. Again, no matter how you feel about her or whatnot, you have to admit she's successful. They got dollar signs in their eyes. All these people from a few months ago that all of a sudden they're coming back and apparently doing a bit of clout chasing. Most people call it clout. We call it clout over here in the troll community. This little corner of YouTube. That's what Durkee calls it. So, of course, that's the official name for it. They are clout chasers. Apparently, again, is what it was seen. Because these allegations were not just brought up by Brittany. They started with a girl who went by the name of Genesis Boyer. And Genesis put out a thing saying she was from Johnny's hometown of Paintsville, Kentucky. And that she knew him and his wife and the family and all that personally. And she said that he was accused of this stuff in the past. And Cammie, Victoria, Miss Hysteria, whatever she's going by nowadays, got a hold of that information. And she claimed to have paperwork saying that Johnny had been accused of this stuff and been investigated or whatever. And then Cammie even gets a fake cop on the phone. Again, what we all suspect is a fake cop. Got him on the phone one night on a live stream. The clips of that are still around. Now, Cammie may not have them on her channel, but they are around. There's a channel called Real Deal that's got them. I believe there's a channel called Horner's House run by a guy who goes by the name Gotcha Man, who played a big part in proving those rumors to be proving all that to be bullshit about Johnny. Because, again, no matter how you feel about Johnny, it's bullshit. Somebody would accuse him of that with no proof. It's just total bullshit. And I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And nobody disagrees with Roma saying it's bullshit. But her just to single out Brittany over that's bullshit. Because she got into some of this and agreed with it at first. Because she was pissed off at Johnny. Because Johnny had basically come on the internet and accused their son of doing something that was fucked up. I'm not even going into details on it because, again, it involves their son, who's an adult, but it involves their child, and that's their business. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. It was fucked up, and Johnny put that out publicly on the internet. It really pissed Brittany off. So, of course, she's going to come up there, and people are talking about all this, accusing Johnny of the pedo shit. And you have to call it pedo, things like that, because we're on YouTube, and YouTube treats us all like we're fucking kindergartners. We can't say, you have to say SA, or somebody was accused of being a pedophile, or whatever. Because fucking YouTube treats us like we're kindergartners. God forbid you say the real word, but but yeah, Brittany basically just agreed with it and said, yeah, he is, he's a, and she even called him that once on the video. And later on, not too long after that, she actually backtracked and said, hey, wait, you know what? I was pissed off. I was wrong. Johnny's never done anything like that to my knowledge. Again, this is all documented. She said these things. It's not right. That's all wrong. And this was all handled like 6 months ago. Now, Cammy and them, again, had the fake cop on there saying that Johnny was investigated for it, but the charges were dropped in exchange for him and his wife cooperating with some other undercover drug sting investigation. I mean, it's all crazy shit. And Gotcha Man went in the chat, and basically that night of Cammy's live stream when she had the fake cop on, again, what we all assumed to be a fake cop, and was just asking basic questions like, hey, what the hell's this guy's badge number? Who is this? What's his name? Where does he work for? What's his how does he come into this information? Because a cop is not going to risk their job in their entire career, because the guy on the phone sounded like he's probably middle-aged, probably, at the very least 30s, maybe 40s or 50s. Somebody like that age has been a cop for at least 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 years. They're not going to risk a career and risk their retirement, risk everything they've worked for to come online and on a fucking live stream of a channel with maybe 1,000 subscribers on YouTube just to put out some bullshit information that, or even if it's true, suppose it is true, they're not going to come online and risk all that they work for their entire career just to put out some information that they're not supposed to, that's supposed to be confidential, or we're supposed to be it's not meant to be public like that, because this is not information you can just go and file a Freedom of Information Act request, which is, here in the United States, if you want to get information like that, that's what you would file, a request like that with the local police department or local whatever the hell that guy claimed to work for, whatever law enforcement agency. You can't get that information, and if he were to come online and give that out, that could destroy his entire career if he was caught doing that. So again, it's total bullshit, and Gotcha Man basically blew it all up in her face, that it was fake. And again, a lot of people suspect Cammy got this guy to come on there to pretend to be a cop, to help reinforce the fact that her papers were real, because what she showed of those paperwork, a lot of people had questioned that and said that it had information that was from like Tennessee on it. Johnny lives in Kentucky, Paintsville, Kentucky. Everybody knows that. Anybody that's ever followed Johnny knows where he's from. The dag burr, that's Johnny's catchphrase. Johnny has this thing called a cry he does, and it's called dag burr. And then originally, this is my thinking with it, sorry I'm getting off track, but this is my thinking with it. Originally, Johnny came up with that, the little catchphrase, his cry, as he calls it. And he had it in his mind that he would say, dag burn, and he was thinking in his mind that there'd be like an audience of women just falling over him, and when they hear him go do his cry and go dag burn, that they would all instantly go, oh please Johnny Goble, won't you cry, please cry us another one. And that's what, in Johnny's mind, that's how it would work out. They would just be going, oh please Johnny Goble, please won't you cry us another one. But it didn't happen like that in real life, so Johnny had to kind of amend it. So his cry nowadays goes dag burn, and he goes, oh Johnny Goble, won't you cry me another one. That's Johnny's cry. That's his cry that he does. I don't know why I'm talking about Johnny's cry. I like Johnny's cry. I think it's great. Johnny's cry is hilarious. It's what he does. It's his catchphrase. He calls it his cry, though. He calls it crying us another one. Johnny loves to cry you another one. Anytime you see Johnny online and he's like on a live stream, ask him to cry you another one, or do his cry. He'll do it for you. It's kind of funny, but I don't. Damn, not see now. I forgot what I was talking about, because I got twisted off talking about Johnny's cry, but. Oh yeah, a lot of people suspected the stuff with Cammy, putting out all that information about, again, this was all information that she was using to accuse Johnny of being a pedophile. And a lot of people think that she put this person up to come online claiming to be a fake cop to make her papers look like they were really real, like she really had this paperwork accusing Johnny of being a pedo. I don't know. I mean, again, now they say that Johnny says it was real, that he was investigated and it never happened, but you can't put all this on Britt, who again did agree to it, but also came out and admitted, hey, I was wrong. And to her knowledge, she said to her knowledge that Johnny had never done anything like that to anybody or anything like that, and was not guilty of anything like that. And she said she was upset, she was mad. And again, this was all, she said this stuff. You can't put this all on Brittany without also blaming these other people too. Mainly this girl named Genesis Boyer. This girl, after all this was over, this girl faked her death to get out of all these allegations, to distance herself from all this stuff. I promise you. Faked her own death. Like, it's crazy. Like, We thought maybe she was dead. Hell, the 50-year-old guy, Danny the Man Parker or whatever, the one that sits out on the side of the freeway, on the side of the road, like at McDonald's parking lot, and videotapes the freeway all day, and posted on videos of it on the internet. That dude, and occasionally does like true crime stuff, but that guy, he was like supposedly best buddies with her on Instagram or something. He was like crying over this chick, because it was like he thought his buddy had died, and next thing you know, you come to find out she hadn't died. She's still alive. She's actually like somebody else. That was a fake name she was using. She's actually still alive, and yeah, it's crazy. But that's the girl you have to blame first and foremost, because she's the one that originally brought these allegations. And then Cammy jumped all over it because she was part of the whole little Creek Squad group that was going at Johnny. Again, and look, I don't have a bone to pick at any of this shit, or I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm a Durkee fan. Hey, the weakest link. That's how my name came from. It's a Durkee catchphrase. He calls everybody the weakest link. He says, you are the weakest link. And he blocks you from his chat. So that's where my name comes from. I am a fan of Durkee White. That's it. The Johnny thing now Johnny was buddies with Durkee for a while, but that's neither here nor there. Again, Johnny never really interested me, especially after the pedo allegations and all that shit, and like 100 fucking channels on here going at Johnny. Yeah, no interest. But yeah, there's again, you gotta look at these other people. If you're gonna go at Brett like that, who plays a small role in it, you gotta go to the people that play the larger role. Again, nobody's innocent in this shit. Nobody. And Johnny's done some shit too that's not great either. Again, I don't want to say what, because I'm kind of annoyed with Brittany right now, because she come online the other day on her little live feed saying that people in the community were on her bad mouth and talking bad about her son and they need to stop it. Nobody's talking about your son, Brittany, except you and Johnny. Yeah, not me. Or I don't think she meant me originally, but I mean, she was talking about people in the community. I'm like, look, I watch a lot of this shit too. Nobody was talking about any of this stuff. Nobody was talking about Cammy. Nobody was talking about Johnny. Nobody was talking about any of these people, Mike Hayes or any of them, until Roma Army came around, and all of a sudden they start coming out, popping back up and bringing up allegations and bringing up shit that was over and done with and settled 6 months ago. And again, normally I just come on here and post stupid shit, and some people probably find me overly annoying, and other people think it's funny, and other people are just kind of like, yeah, sometimes it's funny, other times maybe not, but that's just what I do. I don't really get serious on here too much, unless I'm pissed off, or not pissed off usually. I would say annoyed with Square. Like lately it's been Square. In the past, year or two, it would have been Durkee. Durkee would have said something that annoyed me, or he'd been scamming, or God forbid he done got arrested again, like he did a month ago. He got arrested for allegedly strangling his damn girlfriend. That's fucked up, man. See, that annoys me. Really does. Pisses me off. Y'all don't do that. Cause he's funny as hell. He ain't got no filter, and he's kind of a hick, kind of a hillbilly, but he's an outlaw, and he's tough, by God. He's the toughest man in the world. He'll crack your jaw into 75 pieces. He will. This is what he says now. He's a funny dude to watch when he does his live streams, but he always gets himself into trouble, and it pisses me off. And Square's always poor me. I got these. He's always got these males, these adult, grown males on YouTube coming after him, and most of them, again, like myself, are just people that get annoyed with him and his victim mentality bullshit, and his just constantly, he starts shit with people, and then when they respond, he plays the victim. It's like, dude, it doesn't work that way, man. Square, you play into it also. You can't just say, I'm being bullied, when you start a lot of this shit. And basically, a lot of it starts over Square getting called out for something, like passing out, not on live stream, and then he comes back and goes, I did not, I was just tired. It's like, Swear, no, you were actually high because you were slurring your speech the whole time, and you kept getting slower and slower and slower until you just conked out. So, I don't know where I'm going with any of that, but again, it's just making a point, I guess. Like I said, normally I don't get in this shit. I don't really care, but this pisses me off, though, because I don't piss me off. I really don't give a fuck, honestly. I don't know. But I don't know. But again, I seen your short that Roma posted earlier this evening. And again, you're going to go after Brett for that, you need to go after these other people too and call them out as well, because there's a whole nother, like I posted in the comments, that you only got a tiny bit of the truth of that, all that that happened. This is 6 months ago, and there's a whole lot more to it than just Brittany. Because, again, somebody's been talking to a certain person that, again, a lot of people in the community don't like that person. Again, I don't really give a shit one way or the other, but yeah, a lot of people would dispute what Cammy says a lot of times, especially when it relates to the Johnny stuff about those allegations, because she played a large role in all that. She was basically the center of all those allegations. Now, she may not have, she didn't start it, and she didn't, again, Brittany played her role. But, yeah, she was in the middle of all that. And again, her and Mike Hader are always innocent. They never do anything wrong, and they always stop doing something right before it gets bad and things look like they're doing something wrong. And they only did it to start with because they had a perfectly valid reason. That's how it always is with those two. And they're right. They never do anything wrong, and they're always perfect. That's right. Except for the times when other people say they're not. And again, it's he said, she said, and I don't know. But I'm going to go with the fact that they never do anything wrong, because they are always on top of these things. Because they just have this sixth sense where they know they can see it coming a mile away, and they say, oh, I got out of that, and I didn't have anything to do with that. That was all Brittany's fault. That's why. And did Cammy also tell you that her and Brittany have been having this little back and forth for the last 6 months too? Over some falling out they had over some stupid shit related to all this? Did they tell you that? Because that also is true too. I don't know. I've gone 17 minutes. See, I get on here and start talking, and I fucking mean to go like 5, maybe 10. And next thing you know, I done gone almost 20 fucking minutes. I'm sorry. It happens. I didn't mean to. And I wasn't planning to make a video tonight. But, and here I am on here wearing a pink shirt again. Like, I don't know. It just happens. I end up wearing a pink shirt more often than not on here. I used to wear one on purpose because Durkee'd always, he's a tough guy, and he ain't like that. He'd call you... He used to call people something about being Nickelodeon chic if you wore like bright colors or stuff like that. I don't know. Again, whatever the hell that means, that's what he'd call you. So I would wear it on purpose, I don't really give a shit. I'm comfortable with myself. I can wear a pink shirt. What the hell not? Comfortable with my masculinity. Now, I don't know the Roma chick. She may not like that. She might be like, oh my gosh, that guy's he's a Nancy boy, or whatever they call people like that these days. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a term that's not real offensive. But then again, 5 years from now, somebody might find this clip. Go, oh my God, this guy needs to be canceled. He called himself a Nancy boy. Well, I didn't call myself that. I said that might be a term somebody might call somebody wearing a pink shirt. What the fuck? I don't know. They might. See, I don't bring this shit up in 5 years when they move the goalposts even further about what's offensive and what's not, and all of a sudden referring to yourself as somebody might want to call you a Nancy. Well, that might be offensive. I don't know. Look, I suspect this chick might be a little bit of a social justice weirdo. I don't know. And if you are, hey, that's cool, whatever, but you got to pick and choose your battles with stuff you're going to be offended over, and get the full story if you can. Again, like with this Johnny stuff, Johnny Goble. Again, now Johnny Gobble, everybody called him that because that's what Upchurch was calling him, and he just kind of stuck. And Upchurch has got, like 3 million followers on here. He's pretty well known, at least within the independent country rap scene. Pretty well known guy, but that started with him. But, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I hate the hell off here. I've almost gone 19, almost 20 minutes. I do it every time because I get on here and I start rambling and rapping and just yapping and... I promise I'm sorry, y'all. I do it every time. Oh, well. I am the weakest link, and, that's all I have to say. And, I'm the weakest link, and I'm getting the hell out of here before I talk for another 10 minutes. I'm sorry.